Hey, Skylar here from the Mint Change You Can Wear. And today I got a box from a viewer, from a really cool guy named Robert Mariner. And he runs a ring business in New Zealand called Quality Coin Rings New Zealand. All right, let's open it up and take a look. All right, now these are some of my favorite coins to work with. I don't have them on the website, which is kind of weird, but I do like using them. These are New Zealand half crowns. These ones are 50% silver versions of those, I think. I'm almost sure of it. So I'm thinking we're going to be making one head side out, and then make another one tail side out, and then we will, whatever side this ends up on, we were going to be putting colored pencils on it. All we need to do, pick two of them, and then make a couple coin rings out of them. Alright, so our two coins have our 1/2 inch hole punched in it. Now we're going to be taking our deburring tool and just rounding off these sharp edges that were made by the punch. And after that we're going to anneal them and then get the cone shape started. Now that we have it in this cone shape, we need to take this side and stretch it out, because right now it's a little too small. I'm shooting for a size 12 and this is a couple sizes too small. So the way we're going to do that is on this ring stretcher right here. Now on to Swedish wrapping it and getting these sides nice and straight. But first let's re-anneal it. Alright, this one is done and ready to go. Now to do one with this tail side on the inside of the band. Whoa! Where'd that come from? Alright, well, now we have two. And now that we have these, it's time to start working on the colored pencils. Alright, so there's our colored pencils. It's going to take 14 of them to fill up this mold I want to use. What we're going to do is get 14 of these, stuff them in here, and then mark them so I can cut them a little bit lower than this. Now I'm thinking, instead of just sticking these straight in here and then pouring my epoxy in, I'm thinking about stabilizing these first, because the wood's pretty soft and I don't want any of the colored stuff to be too soft in there for the ring. So if I stabilize it first, make sure it's good and hard, and then cast the whole thing, that might be the way to go. I'm going to be stabilizing it with some cactus juice.
Wow.
Oh, that's really messy. So these are nice and stabilized now. And so by stabilizing it, we're actually hardening this quite a bit. This is pretty soft wood, and who knows how hard the colored pencil the inside was actually going to be. So now it's going to be super hard. But the problem is, look at all the colors on the outside. Pretty much melted away inside the cactus juice. I'm not sure how much of the outside actually goes to making the colored pencil project look like colored pencil project, or if you can't see the colors on the outside of the colored pencils at all. So just to be safe, take the colored pencils, the other half that we cut off, and color the outside with the colored pencils. You know, if that doesn't work, I'll just do it again with these pencils without stabilizing them. So we've got our colored pencils all nice and colored. We're gonna go ahead and put them in here so we can start pouring the resin in them. Time to degas our resin before we pour it into our colored pencils. Just get all the air bubbles out of it. All right, it's the next day now, and they are good and dry. Now what we need to do is get them out of these containers.
Well, you dirt-eating piece of slime, you scum-sucking pig, you son of a motherless goat!
So it looks like the stabilized wood colored pencils didn't seem to work. So I got to thinking, well, I wonder if it was just because we stabilized the wood first? So it could be. So luckily I made that second one, right? So then I cut the end off of this off camera and started to turn it just to see if it would hold together. And it actually, I tried to super glue it back together because I thought it might still work. But really, it doesn't hold together very well either. So now what do? Well, I tried something else. I got to thinking, why don't I just super glue these pencils together? So I did that and then did a sample ring just to see if it was even possible in a really rough way, you know, just really quickly and rough. But there's gaps between the pencils, so that way you can see, like, you know, just raw metal in the background. It doesn't look that good. So then I got to thinking, maybe we can find colored pencils that are like octagonal in shape, and we could not have any gaps whatsoever, and we can super glue them together, and it'd be great. So that is what we're trying now. I found these. They are watercolor pencils, but they have that octagon shape. So we're gonna go ahead, cut them in half, glue them all together, and make a wooden blank out of it, and then turn that down. Now that we have our colored pencil blank all ready to go, we need to start focusing on the coin ring itself. And in order to do that, we need to cut some of this material out of the inside here. And we're going to be doing that with the lathe, and this is what I use to hold coin rings in the lathe with. This is just a piece of PVC pipe. I just have another PVC pipe glued on the inside. That way it has a nice level surface for you to set the ring on. So we'll put that in there and start cutting. All right, so the inside is all bored out, nice and even. And now at this stage, I want to take some 120 grit sandpaper and just rough that inside up. You would think that those grooves would be enough to keep the wood from falling out of there after you've glued it in, but no, you need to have sandpaper marks in there, nice rough ones. We're going to be sanding this and then taking that colored pencil block and then making it fit in here. All right, so that's all turned down. This fits really well over it. And what I want to do now is glue the two together. I think we're going to do the rest by hand. Now we just got to coat the inside with a little bit of Thin Flex CA glue. Ooh, that's looking good. That's looking really good. I'm just going to slightly sand it with some 4/0 steel wool. So it worked in some areas, in some areas it didn't. You can see right there, it's caked with stuff. So if that happens, we're just going to have to clean it off with a little acetone. Okay, time to take the second one and cut the outside off so we can put some colored pencils on the outside of it. Alright, so what we need to do now is just deburr the sharp edges on the inside of this ring, and then clean up any CA adhesive that might have made it on the inside with some acetone, and then just do a final sanding and polishing up, and we should be good to go. Alright, they're finally done. These were a ton of fun to make. If you guys like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to my channel. And check out my website, changeyoucanwear.net, for all the coin rings that I make. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.